For 14 months, my son did not call me, not once. I want you to understand what that feels like for a moment before I tell you the rest of the story. Every Sunday, I would sit in this garden with my tea. Sunday had always been our day. Since he was a small boy, Sunday was the day he called. And then one Sunday he didn't, and then another, and then a month passed, and then 3. And then I stopped counting Sundays and started counting months. 14 months. I'm going to tell you everything today. How it started, what I did wrong without realizing it, what I finally did that changed everything, and where we are now. Because I have had more women write to me about this than about almost anything else. The quiet distance between a mother and her adult child. The silence that nobody talks about because it feels too much like failure. It is not failure. But I had to learn that the hard way. Let me go back to the beginning. My son William is 44 years old. He lives in New York. He is successful and driven, and I am prouder of him than I know how to say. He calls regularly now. But for 14 months he didn't. And the reason it happened is something I have had to sit with very honestly. It started with a conversation that I handled badly. William had made a decision about his life, a significant one. I will not share the details because they are his, not mine. But I had an opinion about that decision, a strong one. And instead of asking him questions, instead of listening, instead of simply being present with him in that moment, I told him what I thought, clearly, directly, in the way my mother had always spoken to me, and the way I had always believed honesty worked. I thought I was being helpful. I thought I was being the kind of mother who tells the truth, even when it is hard to hear. What I was actually being was someone who made her adult son feel judged in a moment when he needed support. He didn't shout. He didn't argue. He said he had to go, and he hung up. And then the silence began. For the first few weeks, I told myself he just needed time. I had raised him to think independently, to process things quietly. I gave him space. I did not call. After a month, I called once. He answered briefly, politely, distantly, like a stranger almost. And that was worse somehow than no answer at all. After 3 months, I told myself I had done nothing wrong, that I was his mother and I had simply said what I believed. And if he couldn't handle an honest opinion, then perhaps that said more about him than about me. I want to be very honest with you right now. That thought was how I protected myself from the truth. It was not the truth. After 6 months, Caroline called me, my daughter, the child I am closest to. She said very gently, very carefully, the way she always does things, "Mom, I think you need to think about this differently." She didn't take sides. She didn't tell me I was wrong or William was right. She just said something that I could not get out of my head afterwards. She said, "Mom, when was the last time William came to you with something important and left feeling better than when he arrived?" I sat with that question for a long time. I upload here every day. I sit down with my tea and I talk to you because these evenings are mine, and I have decided they are better shared than spent in silence. If you are new here today, subscribe. I will be here tomorrow and the day after and every day after that. Back to Caroline's question. When was the last time William came to me with something important and left feeling better than when he arrived? I thought about it honestly, really honestly, and I realized that for years, without ever intending to, I had become someone my son could not bring his real life to. Not because I didn't love him, but because somewhere along the way, my love had started coming with commentary, with concern that sounded like criticism, with opinions he hadn't asked for, and advice that arrived before the listening did. I had been, without knowing it, the kind of mother you call when everything is fine, not the kind you call when everything isn't. That realization was painful in a way I find difficult to describe. Because I had always believed I was a good mother, I am a good mother, and good mothers can still get this wrong. Both things are true. After 8 months, I wrote William a letter. Not an email, an actual letter, on paper, which I put in an envelope and mailed to his address in New York. I did not apologize for my opinion. I still believed what I had said. But I apologized for the way I had said it. I apologized for speaking before listening. I told him that his life was his, and that my role was not to approve or disapprove of his choices, but simply to be his mother. I told him I missed him. I told him Sundays were very quiet. I did not ask him to call. I did not put any expectation in that letter at all. I just said what was true. 3 weeks later, my phone rang on a Sunday morning. I will not tell you that everything was immediately fixed. Relationships are not fixed. They are rebuilt, slowly, carefully, one conversation at a time. But that Sunday call was the beginning of something different between us, something more honest in a way than what we had before. William and I talk differently now. I ask more questions. I offer opinions less freely. I have learned to say I hear you before I say anything else. These sound like small things. They are not small things. So, what do I want every mother watching this to take away today? If there is silence between you and your adult child right now, I want you to sit with one question. Not what did they do wrong, not how could they treat me this way, but this one. What is it like to be their child? Not what it was like when they were small, what it is like right now, today, to be an adult, living a complicated life, and to have you as their mother. If the answer is uncomfortable, that discomfort is information. It is not judgment, it is a door. I am 72 years old. I got this wrong for years without knowing I was getting it wrong. And I am telling you because I think the most useful thing I can do with my mistakes is say them out loud so that perhaps someone else gets to make a different choice sooner than I did. 14 months is a long time to sit alone on a Sunday. You do not have to. Thank you for being here with me today. Come sit with me tomorrow.